Okay, so it's 5:55 on the 17th, Wednesday, payday. My check's already gone. Early morning, it's gone. Just pay all the stuff and bye. Let me think for a sec. The weather thing is getting way worse over here. Or not here, but over where, especially where I used to live. Um, I saw somebody doing a whole list of all the places that flooded. Every place around me, and all the roads are wiped out. And now the 90 has had a landslide, and the 2 is chunked out. So I'm telling you, it's what I've been fucking saying this whole motherfucking time about the evacuation problem that's going to occur. That's going to be bad. And so then, in the middle of the night, I don't know what time it was, but I heard it start because Stella was waking me up, which there was something I saw. First thing I saw this morning, which I'll tell just a sec, was so I was listening and I could hear the rain, but it wasn't raining super hard. And so it's not raining super hard. So it's supposed to be atmospheric river. So I don't know when that's going to start, but we're supposed to have like 5 or 7 days of rain. And then, and I didn't hear any wind. And so I was like, okay, well, the wind must be over by, because it was supposed to start like at 10 or 11 in over by Seattle. And then, so I was figuring I would probably be here by early morning. So it started now, the wind started. But right now it's kind of quiet. You go in the other room, it's a lot louder. But but I kept hearing this weird sound, and it sounded like woo, 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 woo. I was like, fuck, that sounds like a spaceship or something just sitting there, some kind of a thing. And I was like, well, could be like a wind machine. Like, what in the world is that? I did a couple of shorts this morning, and I was trying to see if you could hear the sound on there, but I don't know if you can, because then it picks up on other sounds, and there's wind and there's rain. And then even because I can hear it good when I'm standing inside. Oh, Lord. When I'm standing inside, you can hear it really good. And so I did one standing by the kitchen to see if you could hear it. But I don't know if you can. But it's this sound of woo, woo. It just repeats, repeats, repeats. And it has this like real mechanical kind of sound. Honey, why don't you turn around and lay over here? I don't know what you're doing. Okay, so I'll move that. Okay. I have the ottoman sitting in front of my recliner. But if I put the recliner back, I have to pull it way out in the middle of the room. And the other thing with this recliner, even though I like this nice big chair, is that it's not the kind where you can click it in. So if you move, it moves. It's like, damn it. But anyways, it's nice. But anyways, but I had the ottoman sitting here and just wanted the ottoman moved, so I'll just move the ottoman. Because I put my feet up on it while I'm sitting here talking, but I won't be doing that. Okay, so the wind has started over here. And so I opened the door because I was trying to hear this weird noise. And then I could feel the wind. It was like, oh my God, this is so weird. It almost feels like the Santa Ana winds. It does that. And if you don't know what those are, it's these winds, but there's this warmth to them. And so it doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right at all. And then it's supposed to do all this rain and stuff. But what I've been seeing all morning is the fucking disaster going on over there, which man, I hope that she didn't take my granddaughter back yesterday. But she was supposed to take her back yesterday, and now there's all these roads washed out. It's like, fuck, dude. And she doesn't pick her up again until next week, which it's gonna be worse. It's gonna be worse. I don't even know that she's gonna be able to get across the pass, because now they said, so there's blizzards expected in the elevations, which, remember what I said, how do you get out of this place? You have to go across the passes. You're trapped over there. And I'm gonna tip this back some so I can sit back a little. So So the passes are supposed to have a blizzard, which they said the biggest concern is because as soon as they have the blizzard, then it's going to become unseasonably warm and it's going to melt it again. So they're flooding right now. Now the winds, the ground is so unstable because it's so wet. So the trees start falling. This is where my neighborhood gets fucked. The wind in the trees, because we're in the trees. And, I have said, like, if you were watching me back then, which I hope, Crystal, I hope you're doing okay. The only time you haven't talked, you were in the hospital. So it's like, as soon as you don't, I'm like, oh my God, where's Crystal? But anyways, so I've been talking about it for a long time. When I used to live at my old place, about the wind and stuff, when the wind would come in and how scary it was, these giant ass fucking trees. Like, you just don't even realize how giant these trees are. My mom would be like, oh, my trees are giant. You got to be out there around these big giant evergreens to even get the feeling, and then to see them going in the wind, and then see some of them coming down on houses. Like, it's a big concern, and I've already seen people talking about that too. Like, they were really worried about the wind coming because of the trees in their yard and stuff, because it fucking it takes houses, it takes cars out, it takes everything. And not only that, it's going to be power lines, and it's going to block streets. So what streets you even have to move around on are going to be blocked by giant ass trees. And there's going to be so much of it that they can't get around and get it all done, even though they supposedly repaired a levee, but another one went. And so the flooding is now by Seattle too. And the Ring of Fire has got a ton of activity going, and they're all 4s and 5s. So it's just fucking going to town. And then as the wind comes in, and so all the land around, because so you have all this land, and then where my house was, it was like where you started going up the hill to go towards the ski resort. So we were up just a tiny bit, but the water hasn't risen to there, but the wind, and that's the thing that I kept on thinking was going to be like the fuck thing, especially because my whole yard would flood. And so all my trees would be waterlogged. And that's the thing, is like, even if their houses aren't underwater, which so many houses are, that the ground is so moist that when the wind goes, and these trees, a lot of the trees over there are these really shallow root system, so they come up easy. And so anyways, today their disaster is going to get way worse, and it's so much on the edge of the volcano and earthquake system. And then they're expecting all these landslides. So the landslides, the roads, so now major, the 2 and the 90 have both been, that is the main fucking ways out of there. And because the back roads, the back highways, they are already been closed down, and more roads keep getting closed. And man, this is just what I was saying for years was going to happen. And so, and it isn't even to the worst part yet. They're just in the middle of it. And so today's the wind, which will knock down trees. And the more, they're having another atmospheric river, which we're supposed to be getting too, but it's not here yet. It's just sprinkling. But you can kind of hear the wind a little. But you hear it way more when you go out in the shop. But which I asked my brother where the keys were to the boat. He goes, don't start the boat. And I said, I won't start it, but if it starts, the water starts flooding, because I'm on the river. And if the river, if it starts flooding, that's where we're going to be, is on the boat. And if it, I may have to start it to move around if I'm in the water. I may not be able to just sit in the shop and bash around. So, anyways, we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that this is going to be more of one of the safer zones in on the map system thing. I'm going to look at the map again and see the new map and see where my place lies on there. But I'm pretty sure it's still there, but I gotta look again. But anyways, but it will be hit with different things, you know, because just rains that flood the farms. This is all farmland, and that's one thing too. Is that there's going to be an issue because this isn't something that's just a storm. This is all this place that grows all this food and stuff, and then there's going to be washed out. It's just more corporation in charge of printing our food out for us or getting the mortuaries on board. So just more shenanigans. But so they got the wind and the rain going, which knocks the trees, the lines, the roads, and then they have the warning thing that they also have out is landslides. So there's gonna be more knocking out the roads and stuff. Then on top of that, it's supposed to be a blizzard that comes in behind that. And then the blizzard is going to dump all this snow. Then this heat wave is going to come behind that. And that's going to melt all the snow that's going to go back to the water. So it's like, how do you go out and start trying to fix things when it just keeps being pounded and pounded and pounded? And it's kind of like what was going on in Asheville, you know? So, except for there's less people who've been killed in this than there was in Asheville. The Asheville was a lot of people, and so they have done better on evacuating. There's like a couple 100,000 people have been evacuated, but the people who have stayed, it's like danger, danger. Well, that's why I said that I think that a lot of people who've been evacuated, when the shit gets worse, they're going to be like, oh my God, I'm so glad that we left. Because, I mean, at the time, it can seem like, oh my God, what a disaster. It's almost Christmas. We have to leave our home. Our home's destroyed, blah, blah, blah. But then it's going to get so much worse that I think the people are going to just be like, oh my God, it was a blessing in disguise. Who knew? Because some of us know this is about to get way worse. And so the Ring of Fire has got a whole bunch of activity. There's all this unsettled, and the platelets are so destabilized. So the platelets, that's funny, because it is like the micro, macro, and it is the disease, the sickness, and the platelets being destabilized in our body. So anyways, and there is a lot of that, which I bet you that is a big problem. I bet, that there is something with that, why people keep getting sick. They're not checking everything. And I'm telling you, it's the worst thing to do to go to them. There's this girl who I follow on TikTok, and she's attractive, and her whole thing is, I've talked about her before. But anyways, she said that she had a infection, which my thing is being so crazy right up here. But and I think you can see like the darkness and it seems like it's like pressing in right here. But anyway, so she had an infection. She wanted to go in and have it cleared, and they had to clear out her deviated septum or whatever. And whatever they did now, her nose is giant, swollen, and it's crooked. And so she's really upset. It's been a couple weeks. She's really upset. And she's talked to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, we can't do anything to fix it for a year. So she's just, beside herself. Like, she keeps doing videos talking about it. She's really upset. She's been crying. She said she can't even look in the mirror. The other day, she even did a video with a filter on, and her face is really swollen, and which I'm sure a lot of the swelling will go down, but fuck, man, that would happen to that girl with that infection in her face. Her fucking nose collapsed, her fucking, oh my God, and she's still out there trying to spread awareness, and it's just like, oh, shit, it's so, you got to do things to clear the stuff naturally. You gotta, like ask your body, what are you trying to show me? And you gotta find things that are natural and not be going to them. It's fucking us worse. It messes things up more, letting them cut into us and stuff. It's like going against the grain of nature. And then there's a repercussion, especially right now in the world. Everything is about choices and consequences. And we're having all these repercussions to the choices where we had chosen, this route of having somebody else save us. And, but what I was going to say was the tectonic plates are all destabilized. And so, all this activity is just causing more rumbles and more. I just feel like that this is the precursor to this big event that's going to happen. I just feel like this is the slow roll into it of evacuation, get people out, because it's going to be a huge disaster. And California is just now getting hit with the winds in the atmospheric river. And I don't know, they were already having a bunch of seismic activity, so I'm not sure what all's going to go there, if it's going to be just like a wham bam thank you ma'am for them. But there's a lot leading up to this big event that's coming, I think, over in this other area, which today Portland's supposed to be getting hit really hard. So anyways, it's giant disaster over there. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. It's not getting better. And I think that, like I've said, I think this is the lead in to the whole big disaster. And this is exactly what's going on, is why I wanted out of there the whole time, where I would be like, fuck, there's going to be evacuation problems in the winter. How you get across the fucking mountains? And the wind fucking come down and crash your house, and then you're stuck over there and you don't even have anywhere to go in the winter. And it's just, oh, but that's where people come together also. But if it goes in and takes out, it's wiping out neighborhoods and shit, then, it's a friggin' disaster. It's the end times, it's like paying the piper. It's like we were going at a certain rate for a long time, and now it's time to meet our consequences. It's time to pay the piper. It's time to see, what was hidden, what we were refusing to look at. And so now it's going to reveal itself. And that is, that's like, it's all a part of the awakening, which Donald now has said another, I don't even know if this was from yesterday, because he had said he has a big announcement. He's always got these giant announcements. Oh, this is big. It's big for everybody. I got a big announcement. And I thought it was supposed to be tonight. And then I saw it was live last night. And then it was talking about something. I was like, I didn't listen to the whole thing. I don't remember what it was. It's just like, because so much of the stuff is just bullshit and shenanigans. It's all about the awakening. And so I have no idea. It is like to try and bring awareness to things, push people off of his coattails. It's just a whole thing. It's like, I'm over it. It's like, I'm just waiting for the, deposits. I'm waiting for the crash. I'm waiting. It's kind of like, you're waiting at the diving board line for everybody to go. It's just like, it's just kind of a watching and waiting kind of situation right now, of like watching and waiting what's about to happen, what's about to go, and it's all going to be going. It's just like boom, 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 boom. And which in Colorado, they were saying that because of the high winds, so the winds are supposed to be reaching there this morning, and because of the high winds and the dry heat, they're going to turn the power off because they don't want wildfires. So they're going to turn the power off on those people. Montana, it's weird because it's got some floods, and then it's got some where there's just dry, and the people are like, there should be 5 feet of snow, and there's no snow, which is going to be a big problem. And then in northern Idaho, there was more warnings that there was going to be more floods there. And Spokane had already, the river is downtown. The Spokane River runs through downtown, and there's waterfall and stuff, and it is going so crazy. And then I saw a video yesterday where somebody was showing that the water had gone up over into the streets in downtown. So I don't know how bad that is or how bad it's going to get, but it's going to just keep getting worse and worse. It's just going to be disasters all over the place. And these can be like the focus over here, but stuff is going to start hitting over there. Like even in Iowa and Ohio, I think, we're having huge snowstorms, and people are still just go out there driving like crazy. And then we've got all these truckers that don't know how to drive, that just got their license handed to them, and they are wrecking all over the place. But, you know, what does that draw attention to? The shenanigans of this, you know, the people in charge, you know, here, you take one. And we're handing out CDLs today. Everybody come get yours. But, you know, if we went up there and said, well, I want one, you know, it'd be like, well, go to school. Go pay your $20,000. Learn how to drive. The rest of you people, come on. It's like, it's so much bullshit, man. This is so much fucking bullshit. And this whole fucking thing with Rob Reiner, it just gets weirder and weirder, man. So, and I knew it just was not sitting right. There was just, I could feel something weird about it. And so, at the same day, mind you, this is the same motherfucking day, within hours apart, what's his name? Luke, from Luke and Laura, he dies. And so, and he's in Amsterdam, and they say he dies from complications from cancer. And it's just hours from Rob Reiner dying. And they're the exact same age, about 78. Then there was a clip of All in the Family where both of them are on it, like they were friends on the show. So this clip is them two on it, and the person was like, R.I.P., you know, to these two guys, like this is normal. Like, what in the motherfucking chances of that? Like what? No wonder so many people play the lottery. It's like, what? It's like, what in the motherfucking chances of that? Like, it is so astronomically unlikely. It is bizarre. And these are the things that, you know, my mind wraps around of like, no, this is why I'm not a gambler. And so they're in this clip together, and they're the same age, and so they know each other. They're in this, I don't know how close their relationship was, if Luke was just like, hey, I'm going to stick to the soap operas. It's a steady gig, and I got a steady paycheck, and I'm pretty damn popular. And, you know, Rob Reiner was like, well, I got a movie for you. And he's like, oh, hell, I've got a good gig going. So I don't know what the thing was. You know, I don't know if they stayed friends or whatever. But then they're showing pictures. So there's all this drama about his son. Even, who was it? Some actor. Oh, God, I can picture him. I think he's off SNL. And he was at Conan's thing. And he got in a fight with the son, I guess after Rob left, I'm not sure. And because this all seems like the show. This all seems like the show. And what is that guy's name? I think, I can't think of his name. But anyways, so he was caught in footage outside of his house, walking in the street, arguing with somebody or something, because somebody called and said, oh, people know you were arguing with him at the party. It's like, so I'm going to make a big production. Everybody look at me. It's like, what? There's TMZ just looking over his fucking fence. I don't know. It's all so ridiculous. So whatever is going with that. And so then they had pictures of, oh, and there's another guy too who's come out and said, oh, he's been spending time with the family last week, and they're the best family in the whole world. Everybody is just so loving and nice to each other. They're just so normal. They just sit and eat and watch TV and play games and throw balls for the dog, and we're all just chilling and having a good time. And so he's got this whole thing out, which in the comments, all these people are like, oh, good, way to make money off of your friend's death. Now you sell your story to what, some not Star Magazine, I don't know, it's one of these things that talks about this kind of gossipy stuff. And so people are like, oh, you know, you're trying to market off of this. Like, look at Erica, dude. Like, god damn. So then they have a picture up of Rob and the wife and the son. Oh, and yeah, and people are saying that the wife's been talking for months about they just don't know what to do with him. It's just they've dealt with this for so many years with his drug addiction and his mental illness. And so then it shows this little family photo. And in this photo, just so happens to be the son is wearing his shirt with the logo of Castle Rock. It's like, this is a fucking staged performance. This is all fucking, I don't know. I don't know what the whole thing is. Oh, I remember what it was that Donald was fucking doing yesterday. Celebrating fucking Hanukkah or some bullshit. It's like, what in the hell with this shit? And, so, because, you got to keep in mind who's in really charge of this fucking world. And I swear to God, there was people who said it a long time ago, but that's anti-seismic, you know what I'm saying? And so, you're not allowed to say, who's really in charge out there, because that is anti. And so, and you got to fall in line, and that's supposed to be the whole shenanigans, the whole conspiracy about Charlie. Is Charlie was like, "Oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do what they say. I'm following Jesus," or whatever the hell. Because then you got all these people who are religious who are like, they're the chosen ones, the chosen people of the world. Jesus is taking them first, and then them are saying, "Hey, Jesus isn't real. He's no savior. What the fuck are you talking about?" It's like the whole thing is so fucking absurd. And so, anyways, this whole thing with this, these deaths. And I think somebody else died yesterday. I can't remember. But it usually comes in threes. But there was somebody saying that this time period is something about this celebration that Donald was showing about yesterday has to do with a lot of throwing babies in the volcanoes, whatever that's called, sacrificing. So it has a lot to do with the sacrifice. Which, how do they start this shit? With this fucking, let's kill this rare fucking cow or ox or bull or whatever the hell it is. Let's slaughter that. Oh, and it's like this year it wasn't even good enough. And like, oh, well, we got more than one? Let's kill them all. Like, we got 4 or 5? Fucking kill them all. And that could be more of the Muslim. I'm not sure. It could be I'm not even sure at this point. With this fucking mad sacrifice, slaughter, fucking crazy fucking bullshit. It wouldn't surprise me though if the Blues need more than just a cow to be, it's like, well, we're celebrating big. And we said people, especially because they, you go listen to Finkelstein, and, it's a big joke. We're nothing but, gore them anyway. Just fucking kill them, slaughter them, and feed them back to them because it's hilarious. So, anyways, all this stuff going, it just seems to be as stormy as this fucking insane storm going on. It just seems so absurd, so ridiculous. Like, we're going to be hit with the floods. We're going to be the wind. We're going to be hit with the rain, the wind, the blizzard, and then heat wave. It's like, there's just, this is insanity. And then these absurd fucking storylines going. Like, now at this point, I don't even know that Rob is really gone, but my brother, what did he say? Because I said, let me know what you hear the word on the street, because he works for LA Fire, and those guys spread, they talk about what was there on the scene. And so, but, even if they're going to do a storyline, they just, these people have they can do whatever, all sorts of shit. They can fucking take a clone and, hey, look, he's gone. But it's really not the original. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to be shown. I don't even know why they go to such these weird fucking things. I'm like, what is it? Castle Rock on your fucking thing? And so I don't know. Everything just seems staged and ridiculous. And this thing with Erica and Candace, it seems like so ridiculous. Somebody even put out a cartoon yesterday. And it wasn't just this little shenanigan cartoon. It was like, I don't know, somebody put some effort into this. Otherwise, maybe I just don't understand how some of these effects work on AI. But this so I had Erica and Candace sitting at a table just laughing about how stupid all the people are because they're working together and they can't even see it. And even Erica is like, yeah, did you see what I did with my eyes? And then they all go crazy and stuff. And they're all so stupid. It just kept saying how stupid we were. And because they are. All of a sudden Candace goes, oh yeah, we're everything's good now. So, okay, now is she admitting what's got like it's all so ridiculous, and it is just, to me, it's all like to just pull us into these dramas, pull us into these, because it gets us to, especially when it's ridiculous, it gets us to put on the brakes and go, wait a minute, and think for ourselves, which is the awakening. So to me, all this absurdity and this ridiculousness is so that we put on the brakes and we start thinking for ourselves. We start questioning things. We start looking at things with a more particular view than just a zombie approach to life. You'll tell us what to think and we'll just go about our day. We got to get to work. We're late. And, but to make stuff so ridiculous and then to pull us into all these fucking ridiculous dramas and then have them all be just, ridiculously blowing up all over the place. So, and it just seems like it's going faster and faster and faster, which still the good news is that silver keeps going up. And that is that's like cut things loose. And it's being more, there's like a shortage now. So, and it was being said when people were saying buy silver, and it was saying do not buy any that they keep at the place, and then see what's been coming out that they were loaning that, and now it's like that's not there. So people who were like, okay, well, I'm going to buy this much and keep it in your vault. It's like, you got to get it in your vault. You got to get it in your hands. You cannot leave them for anything. There's no ethics. There's no fucking morals in this fucking place. It's just it's like a lack of integrity world. And so, and this is where the part everybody has to face in themselves, That's what the awakening has to do with, is your morals, your integrity, your priorities. And so many people's priorities are so artificial, which I saw a guy talking about, and I know this is true, is, and what's weird too, is I was just having a talk with my brother one of the times when he was here recently. So it was in the past like month or so. And he was talking about men's attitude towards women and how, he used to buy into it more when he was younger. But as he's gotten older, he starts seeing through it. And he said it's really pretty disgusting. And that men just look at women as like trophies, like, oh, I had that one, yeah, I would get that one. And then this jealousy sprouts out, like, oh man, you got with her, oh good. And so it's like this devaluing women for who they are. They're just the surface. They're just the avatar. All they focus is on the avatar. And it's a big problem, he said. And I don't think it's just firemen, but that firemen do get a lot of women just throwing themselves at them, and they just look at him as like, it's just another, like, oh yeah, that one over there, that one over. There's nothing deeper. They don't look at it the same, And these girls are, I'm sure, thinking like, oh my God, I think he likes me. It's like, probably not. And so then this guy was doing video talking about this same thing, about this male attitude. And he said, it's not that men are all gay, that they, but they don't like women. They just don't like them. They don't care to get to know them. They don't, they don't want to go deeper into it. Talking about the same thing what my brother was talking about. And I was like, I fucking know that. Like I got married like thinking like, oh, it's just that one. and it's like they don't want what their purpose more is like to control you, to make you into their ideal or what they want. And women are not so compliant as they were in the past. And so there is friction that happens between the genders because the men don't really care about the women in their heart, mind, and soul. They care more about the surface and what things look like and what their friends think. And then when they have one that they are stuck with, bound to, if they're not cheating on them, then they are trying to control them and make them, well, you got to clean more. You got to do this more. Why aren't you cooking this? You should cook this way. You should do this. You should do that. And a lot has to do with how they feel about their mom too. And that's a really crazy relationship because it can be like, oh, she was a great cook. Why didn't she cook like my mom? But then their mom was abandoned them and they feel like their mom wasn't there for them. So then they hold that against you. It's like a very complex, convoluted, thing of, all these unhealed people out there trying to make it in this world. It's like, no, we got to break it down, and start healing. And being in a relationship when you're unhealed is toxic. Talked about this and talked about it. It's very toxic. And you need to work on you. You need to heal yourself and get yourself to where you love yourself. And then you're ready to love others, love more. You've got something to spread when you have something inside of you giving to yourself. Otherwise, you're just an energy vampire going and trying to suck the life out of everybody else to find love. So if you can get them to all love you, then maybe you can love yourself. But it never works that way. And it just is a toxic cesspool of dating and relationships. And that's part of the cycles that we got to break free from. And that's why we have to go into ourselves and work on ourselves and learn to love ourselves before that we start trying to create relationships and families and stuff. And it's completely showing the consequences to our advancement in the negative, in the way that we were living our lifestyles. Now we got all these people, these girls still going out and partying when they've got little babies. They're out there looking for something. And we got so many people, like their babies are in their way. They're just doing them in right and left. We got men who don't want to be bothered with the women, don't want to be bothered as she practices, like doing them all in, just one after another, which Scott Peterson, now he's got the project where they go into the prisons and say this guy shouldn't be here. He's got them on his side. And there's a new documentary. It might already be out. And so he's supposed to be going back to trial or something. It's like, what? Man, see how fucking media sells us on a story and we believe one story and then a whole different thing surfaces. So I don't even know what's going to come out with that. Next, they'll be pulling fucking Chris from Colorado out. Oh, no, he didn't do it either. It's like, God damn. But then there is this whole thing about them scapegoating people and putting people in jail that didn't do these things. I don't know, to close the case, to shut us up. And, and there's way more people talking about this Ms. Morgans and this baby. And, but that is a big part of what people need to wake up to, about, this, because I've said that is our big, people worry about the traffic. This harvest situation is way bigger. It's the trade of, I won't say well, I guess I can say human, that industry is the big money, which, you could, it's like a different header. Like everybody wants to focus on the traffic. Well, the traffic is like, if you take this other thing of this industrial trade, then you put that as number one, then that is a sub thing, traffic, A, B is this, C is this, it starts going down. But the top, and so many people think it's the traffic at the top. No, it's this other thing at the top. And it is, it's bad. And our government, this is a big part of what a lot of these people are going to go down for. It's not going to just be TREASON. It's going to be crimes against the human. And so it is going to be bigger, which supposedly Nancy's been subpoenaed or something. And which, however it goes down, because I think a lot of these people have already been through some of these, gone through some of these, what are they called? It's the stuff going on over at the Get with the military. Not just court things. They have a tribunal, those things. And so I think there's already been a lot of that. I think that a lot of people have already met their maker. And I mean, like right now we have Hillary out talking. Like that chick's been gone a long time. You know, we got this fake ass one out there looking to talk. Like the whole thing is ridiculous. Michelle, she's on Kimmel or something last night. It's like, I believe the story that Michael was got years ago. Same with Barack. I believe that a lot of these people are gone. They're not playing the parts to show them their own ridiculousness. Just like Joe wasn't playing his own part. Somebody was playing the part of Joe. And so, because some of these people are not going to go in and expose. Their whole life was about hiding. And so, and their crimes were devastatingly horrific, so that they had to, meet their maker before they started being exposed. Once they started really exposing some of these people, but Donald himself has said, "Oh, they're gone. They're way gone. They're killed. Yeah, they're gone." It's like, I believe him. I believe him, because that was the word on the street in conspiracy land. So yeah, I believe it. So anyways, a lot of this stuff is just absurd. And it is curious, though, what the deal is with this Rob. Why is it, he was so anti-Donald, and then to an extreme, and then Donald brings that up, the first thing, then all this stuff starts coming out, how anti he was. It's like, was he, really on the other side trying to just bring attention to get everybody to pay more attention? Because it seems ludicrous, but it's like everybody's going around not paying attention. But if somebody keeps saying, this guy's so bad, he's so bad, look what he's doing, then you start paying attention. Well, then the guy who you're paying attention to can start throwing you all sorts of bones. But you got to be paying attention to him, and there's got to be a reason. And we seem to hate better than we love. It seems to draw us in. Drama, hate, vindictive, all of those things seem to really be the subculture that draws people's attention in. And drama and gossip and all that stuff. So it had to have an alternate approach in order to get our attention. But it seems like, that's a real possibility. And because that's where things started playing out. When you see this stuff with Candace and Megan and all of that, and Charlie, it seems like, well, we're going to, go through the side window. We're not even going to go in the back door. We're going to go through the side window, and we're going to go and to bring in get our attention on this stuff. And it does seem, that there is a huge amount of attention being drawn into this dramas and bullshit that's going on. And I saw another thing where somebody was saying the 19th isn't going to, there's tons of people that think it's the end of the world, but the thing is the world goes, you're still going to be aware of yourself. So it doesn't fucking matter. You're going to be aware of yourself, and then you go like, well, now that's over. Where am I going now? And it's already set. And so you don't have to worry. It's not like you're going to be just sitting there by yourself like, oh, the world's ended. Now what am I going to do? It's like, no, you'll just go somewhere else. You'll go to another story. You go to another show. It's like, just because this one's over doesn't mean shit. And so the, what was I going to say? Oh, the 19th. So, and it's supposed to be something about the Atlas being super close and the astrology and bullshit like that. So, that this person was saying that it's going to be very instrumental for some people. So the people who are more awake are going to really have this energetic surge, but a lot of people are not going to. It's just going to be another day to them. You're not going to notice anything, but that there's going to be a lot of energy and stuff coming in that will be propelling us. It's like when you're paying attention, your mind just keeps being open, open, open. It's just blast, blast. But the people who are dug in hard, but see, it has to do with what, they're programmed. Oh, shit. Now the wind's picking up. Oh, it's so creepy too, and the wind picks in the water too. I moved my Starlink up against the building. I hope it's not going to blow. I was trying to put things where they wouldn't blow. And my brother's like, oh, you're safe inside when my daughter was here, she said it's kind of like one of those bunker places, where you go for the end of the world or something. But he said, oh, you'll be safe in there. It will withstand 150 miles per hour winds. And so anyways, I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure I don't feel like, oh, I'm in danger. I said the thing that will suck is if the power goes out. And he goes, well, the lines are buried, but it can go out bigger than that. And so, I don't even know, when I start downloading what's going to be the situation. So, and anyways, we're just at this period of time where there's just so much chaos, so much going on. And I was glad I borrowed some. I did talk to my mom. I borrowed some money from her to go up to the store because I was looking at the store. I was doing my grocery list on there and filling my cart. And they had kombucha on sale. So it's like, oh shit, I'm just going to go up there. And I'm not going to drive into town. And because it always ends up taking a couple hours, and I can just go down to this little local market. It's Albertsons, which is more expensive than driving into Caldwell and going to or Nampa, whatever the town is, going into Winco and Costco, which I still had to pay more for the kombucha than I did at Costco. But it was like, oh, I'll do this other brand because I do like this other brand, and I haven't been drinking much of it. So and it was on sale. And so I was like, oh, cool, I'll do that. And so then I was adding some more things in, and there was some coupons, and you clip the coupons online. And then I saw, oh, it ends tomorrow or yesterday. So it ended yesterday. So I was like, oh, shit. And then I started being like, okay, well, just don't freak out. Just go to the other store. It'll be fine. But I was already having it in my mind about doing that. So then I ended up borrowing some money from my mom so I could go up there and get that stuff. And I just went and got a few things and came back. And then I started seeing the weather was supposed to be changing here. And they were saying the roads are going to be frozen. It's going to be some snow, rain, wind. It's going to be kind of a mess for a few days or something. And then, not be just out because the roads are going to be shitty. And so then I was like, oh man, I am glad that I went and did that yesterday and got that stuff. And then yesterday too, my brother, I was talking to him, telling him, where's the boat keys? He said, do you have everything you need? Because you're going to probably be kind of stuck there for a few days at least. And I was like, yeah, I already did all that. So I was really thankful of that. And I don't know, I kind of just got over it more throughout the day. It just wasn't so much. And then I just was back to just stay away from certain conversations with my mom, and it's not to just push a certain narrative or to hide from a certain narrative, but it is just, it's just pointless, She's going to see this thing and I'm going to see this thing. We're just not going to be in the same eye, which this was another thing too, as I saw a video and it was talking about intelligence and the way you think. And you get it from, this is a scientific study or something. So your brain, your smartness, the way you fix things and how you look at life comes from your mom's mom. So it doesn't come from your mom. But I had heard before it comes from your mom's it comes from your mom, but it actually comes from your mom's mom. It like skips over. Just what I was saying. I was living in the other place in the cabin when I was talking about this. I think the link between it's like this link of the generational link of lessons. And I had said that it's kind of like, so your mom and your grandma have these issues, and then you come in, she goes, you come in, and then these issues are there again. So it's this back and forth between the lessons. And a lot of the lessons are, you can't change somebody. And you got to just be like, okay, well, they don't have to think I'm smart or think I'm, conceited. They don't have to see me the way I need to see me. And it's fine. It's like you got to let go of it. But, there's still triggers that happen. But you still had to process through it. But then yesterday, that was just kind of giving me this confirmation of what I was talking about with this generational link. I was like, oh, that makes so much sense, because your lessons just swing back around. So this one, you've got these issues, your mom and the daughter, and then the grandma goes off, or you grow up or whatever, then you start having your kids, and then it just was a repeat, because you have to learn these certain lessons, and they're going to just push you from the other side. So you can get pushed from this side, then it's going to flip over and get pushed from this side. And so just to be aware of the things you're learning or being pushed are instrumental in your growth. They're not because you just got sucky parents or whatever. It's because you are programmed into this experience. Like you are the carrier, the bearer, you are what is that? The baton. The baton is passed to you, and that is the link to your generational lessons, because we're all kind of in here to learn these certain lessons together. And so we're all there to push each other. But a lot of people, because there's still a big part, and I have seen where I think there's some people who were pushing for this no contact with parents and stuff, are starting to see like, oh, maybe that's not a good idea, because it's not a good idea, this no contact thing. I did no contact with my dad way before it was a trend. It was like back in the 80s. And it was as long as you're drinking, I'm not having anything to do with you. I've dealt enough with the bullshit. I'm not dealing with it anymore. And he continued to drink. And so but then like later on, for a while he had stopped, and then I started talking to him. But then when he did start again, he was, had 1% liver and was drinking for years. When he died. But but for a long time, I was like, I'm not talking to you as long as you're drinking, and you're not being around my kids. I'll tell you that. Unless I'm sitting in the room, you could be around them, but you're not being alone with them. And so it was still, I don't know, because there's a sense of setting boundaries, but people are just kind of blowing people off, and they're not seeing the necessity of what they're there to teach you. And you're in a complete state of judgment when you are doing that. Like you're judging them, and you're not seeing them as humans. You're not seeing them as infallible people who make mistakes, people who are also in crisis, people who are also struggling. So you spend a lot of judgment instead of having compassion and empathy. And I think the person I saw who was somebody who pushed for no contact to people, like everybody go no contact, I'm no contact, everybody do it. That she starts saying, now I'm starting to see like I need to have compassion and empathy. And it's like, yeah, that's, we're here to learn these things, not just cut everything out of our life that makes us feel bad. We're here to overcome things and to grow and to become better. So not just dig into wherever we are and say, nobody bother me. Then, it's just a part of the cycle of learning, and with the people who are in your transit, in your orbit, are there to help you to bring to the surface, and not here to heal you or teach you so much as they are there to bring things up in you so you can heal yourself and teach yourself. but you're missing out on what they're there to give you when you cut them out of your life. And so, anyways, that's kind of, taking a little turn, going the other direction, which it needs to. People need to be, and some of it is about, you got to be able to learn how to set boundaries with these people. You got to learn how to, like I saw this one, and this lady said every year for 5 years this has been going. And so she's showing the text. And so she was trying to see what's going on for Christmas, what's going on for Christmas. And this is an adult woman too. So I don't know, mom, what is the mom? 80 and the daughter's like 50 something. And which right there is like, I don't know. We've got to be, people got to have like there's so much dysfunction to me in families. Like there's one thing about, getting together and stuff like that, but for your whole, like what's going to go on? What's going to go on? So anyways, finally the mom answers. Finally, she gets an answer. And her mom just comes in and says, okay, this is what I'm cooking. And everybody be there at 3. And she's cooking a ham, macaroni and cheese, and something else. And some kind of salad or something. And the daughter is like, well, what time is presents? And the mom said, why? She said, because I'm not coming to dinner. Said, why aren't you coming to dinner? Because I don't eat pork. I've been telling you for fucking 5 years. And you keep making it and making it. So I'm not going to come for dinner. I'll come for presents. But see, that's where you do, and, but then also, I was somebody who had stopped eating meat when I was a kid, and everywhere, I mean, every time I went to my dad's, was like, everybody, everywhere I went, we're having chicken, we're having this, we're having that. And I'd be like, well, I can't eat. I'm not eating that. Well, you don't eat that? I can't even tell you how many times, like, that has been my whole fucking life. What are you talking about? You don't eat that? It's like, no, I don't. And so then when my daughter became vegan, which is so fucking strict, it's so beyond. It's like no butter, no egg, no this, no that. It's like, well, what? Because you try and cook anything. And there was a point where it was like, I told her, just bring some of your own, bring what you want to bring. Bring some stuff that you can eat. And but I had been also on the other side where I started being like, I'll bring some food I can eat. I'll bring some salad or something. I'll bring some stuff I can eat. And, make it a potluck. No matter what, when I get there, yeah, just like that lady said, even on the salad, she goes and puts bacon on it. It's like, so I know, I've been there, I get it. But I think also that's where you got to have to have boundaries. If you don't want to go for dinner, you can also say, okay, well, if I'm going to come for dinner, I'm going to bring this and this and this because I can eat this. And so I'll bring it and share it with everybody else. And so you had to decide, who you are in the situation. Are you just like, I'm not coming? Or if you're going to be like, okay, well, if you're making that, I'm going to bring this and this because otherwise I don't get to eat anything. And I want to see everybody. You get to decide who you are in every situation. But that's how boundaries work, is you got to, and it isn't like, I told you, you stupid ass bitch. I've told you 1,000,000 times and I hate you. You're the worst person in the world. That's not going to do you any good. Because then you're just got yourself in a fucking a fight. Because I don't know, if some of the people, it's like, I think that they just don't think about it. They don't, like, when I was having to make everything vegan, I was like, that's a lot to try and change all your stuff where nothing can have, you can't have cheese, you can't have butter, you can't have this. It's like, well, I kind of like, I don't want to eat fake butter. I don't want to eat this fake food. And I even started saying, like, look, read the ingredients. That's a lot of ingredients. When you just buy butter, and instead you get this with this list of ingredients. I don't want all that. And so, yeah, it's like, well, there was a point in time where I would be, okay, so if I'm going to make yams, I'm going to put butter on mine, but I'll put fake butter on yours. And so there was a point in time where I would make like her own. I wouldn't change the whole thing, like potato salad. You know, we would have barbecues a lot, and then people always want me to make potato salad, and I would make her own potato salad. Out of all that, you know, I just make two different bowls. So I've some things like that, but I think a lot of times people don't really think about it. They're just like, well, what would be a good thing to make for Christmas? Ham. Everybody loves ham. And then you're not thinking about, well, I got the one kid who doesn't eat ham. And it's like you're thinking about all of the other ones. And so when you're the one kid who's different than everybody else, it's better just to be like, I mean, you don't have to shame people for not making you their priority, but you can make yourself your priority. You know, you can say, well, you know, there's nothing really that I can eat, but I could eat the macaroni and cheese unless you're vegan. Then, so I'll bring, you know, if you want to bring a roasted chicken, roasted duck, whatever it is that you eat, tofurkey or faux turkey or whatever it's called, whatever it is that you want to bring, then just do it, do it, do it. You know, just, you know, don't, because it kind of is like you go back into your child of your wounded child, like, oh, nobody ever cared about me. Nobody's ever, no, I've never been anybody's priority. You know, it's like your wounds that you have to go through. But really, you know, we have to prioritize ourselves. What would somebody who prioritizes themselves would do? It's like, well, I'm going to bring some food I can eat. So, you know, I don't make enough for me on that stuff. You know, count me out, but I'll bring some extra stuff. And then if your mom's offended, say, well, you know, you can make it or I can make it. But if you want me to come for dinner, I got to have something to eat. So anyways, that's how I look at that. But the thing I was going to say earlier, the first thing I saw this morning was because I was getting woke up all fucking night. And some nights are worse than others. And last night seems like when I get woke up, I'd fall right back asleep really quick. But then when it was more towards the morning, and she was having a fit about wanting to wake me up. And then I realized like I had been sleeping funky and my head hurt and I couldn't get comfortable. So then I was telling her, just hush, stop it, go back to sleep. So she went and she laid down and she went back to sleep. She's sitting there snoring, but now I can't get back to sleep. So I'm sitting there totally uncomfortable. So I get out my phone, I start paying my bills, which, woo, that's gone. And then, I went and looked, and Crystal wasn't there. And then I went, did all my stuff. And then I went on TikTok because I was looking at something. And when I went on there, the first video that popped up was, if your dog's waking you up all night. I was like, what? And so it said that if your dog's waking you up all night, don't be mad and shaming them and stuff. And it was explaining what's going on for the dog, which I know part of it is Stella's discomfort. You know, it's like an old lady who's like, you know, she's been laying in one position for an hour and is like, oh God, that hurts. I'm not gonna roll over. And so she's kind of like that on a part of it. But how I've said, it's totally weird how she'll wake me up out of these dreams. And he said that, so this video I was talking about, that your dog can smell the cortisol. So when you're dreaming, if you are stressed out in a dream, your dog smells the cortisol and it will wake you up because it's worried it's like out to protect you. So it becomes alert and then it's will wake you up. So she's always pulling me out of these fucking dreams. I've said so many times. It's so trippy. And so they smell your stress or something when you're dreaming. And then it said another thing too is if a dog wakes up in the middle of the night and it's dark, and then it's like it has a sense of isolation and it needs to feel the force of the pack, so it will like try and be like, hey, anybody out there, you know, what's going on out here, you know, and start waking, because it's got to get to the feeling of comfort again. I was like, oh my gosh, that does make a lot of sense. And it's not like I shame her. It's not like but sometimes I'm like, will you stop it? Go back to sleep. Knock it off. I'm trying to sleep. Stop it. And I know I hurt her feelings sometimes. And she keeps rubbing this sore. It's still there, but it's like, I swear to God, it's weird how it just kind of is detached on part of it. But a lot of dogs with this face, it's not hairy there, they get sores right here. Because I've seen other people talking about it. So I think, and she used to always rub this. This is wet, rubbery face. And so, anyway, she keeps rubbing it, and she's rubbing it right now. And yesterday, when I stopped, she had blood all over the place. And so I'm putting the, what is it, the DMSO? Is that what it is? I'm putting that stuff. I'm putting aloe vera. I was putting the horse paste and castor oil. And then she has another big knot right up here on her spine, which is really spongy. Like, I'm being like, I can't believe this thing has not opened. And then the one that opened on her side, it's like taking a long time to heal. But I got the, and then for her, whatever, I'm hoping it's just a yeasty problem, is got the yeast meds again, and then those wipes, and and then for, all the other things, like any bugs, is, I got the CHDX, the turkey tail, the diatomaceous earth, and then I have her glucosamine and all that stuff, which, did I put those 3 in there today? Shit. I got so many supplements to put in her food. I think I forgot those 3. Today will be day 3, and I haven't noticed a big difference yet on the inflammation. But I'm hoping by next week. So I'm going to give it a week and see how that works on the inflammation. So, but I think I forgot to give her those 3 today. So, but, I mean, we're about to go eat again. Oh, yesterday I made, I'm going to make that lemon bread again. It was really good. I just put the whole lemon in a grinder thing, which mine is like a little ninja thing. So it just makes it blow apart. And so then it's just shreds, and put that in with flour, sugar, baking powder, vanilla. I'm not putting blueberries. And just that. It is, it's really good. It's like tart too, but it's supposed to be way healthier to have all of that rind and stuff in there. So anyways, I'm gonna make another one of those. It was really delicious. And then I still have some cream cheese, so I can make cream cheese frosting for it. And then I've been making a lot of applesauce cake, or applesauce breads, and those are really good, especially if you put the cream cheese frosting on them. And then I have a bunch of bananas, and the bananas are weird as fuck. It's like they just stay. They don't. It's weird. I don't know. Everything's so fucking fake. Everything is fake. Fucking chocolate chips are wax. I saw somebody who was like making these Christmas treats. Okay. With Hershey's Kisses, and she threw one whole batch out, went and bought new ones, and they still wouldn't melt. And then when you try and push them down, they just crumble apart. So whatever our food is fake as fuck. And but I had bought some, I got some dark chocolate chips, but now they're saying the dark chocolate has tons of lead in it. They tell us, oh, eat the dark chocolate. And then, oh no, we got a lot of poison in that too. But but there was Andy's mint. It's like Andy's mints all chopped up, and for chips. And so I was like, oh hell yeah, I love mint. I love caramel and I love mint. And so I bought a bag of those, which yesterday when I was making these brownies, I was eating it by the handful. I was like, oh my God, these are so good. You could just get them just to have, just like when you want a handful of something sweet, like they're good. And then I just got a cheap ass box of brownie mix, which is full of poison, like 98 cents. And so I just put in 2 eggs, coconut oil, and a smidge of water, and mixed it, and then put a bunch of these Andes chips in it, and then baked it. Oh my God, it is so good. It's really good. So I've got those too. So I don't know. Maybe make the lemon bread tomorrow because those I should cut them up and put some in the freezer or something. I don't need a whole pan of brownies. Anyways, they're good. So, let me think. Was there anything else I was going to say? There's just like a whole bunch of stuff going on. There's just so much stuff. And just, don't get too caught up in all the dramas because the main thing, I'm telling you, the main thing, why all this stuff is supposed to be like poking us, prodding us to question our reality. And in questioning our reality is reprioritize our value system and, search for how far you are away from having integrity because there's a lot of that missing. And that's important. It's vital to your soul. Your soul depends on it. And without integrity, what is your soul? A dark demon soul. So, and that's where they want to keep you because they've got your energy. They've got a hold of you when they keep you in the dark. And it's up to you to bust free, to be uncomfortable. And so many people are so comfortable with hate and division and bitterness and revenge and stuff. It's like you gotta bust out of that mindset and bust into the one where you're more focused on love and compassion and empathy, forgiveness, boundaries, which is so uncomfortable. I saw a girl doing this story, and so she goes to the same coffee place every day, goes to this coffee place. And she's a real cute girl, real trendy looking, funky, all tons of piercings or whatever. And so she goes to this coffee place all the time. Real long blonde hair, big mane of hair. And so she goes to this coffee place all the time. And they so she's like knows the people or whatever. Oh, hi, good morning, and gets her coffee every day. It's like it's waiting for her kind of situation. And so she goes the other day and they said, oh no, your coffee's paid for. And she's like, it is? How nice. And then they're like, oh yeah, Buck over there, the guy who works there, he bought it for you. You should go out with him. He really wants to go out with you. You should go out with him. And she's just like, oh, okay, and leaves. And then she does this TikTok talking about how uncomfortable she is now, her favorite place to go, and now this totally discomfort, how uncomfortable she feels about the whole thing. And she doesn't want to go out with this guy, but she doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And she feels so uncomfortable. Now she feels like the only solution is just stop going there. And I said in the comments, this is your opportunity to practice your boundaries. And then she started talking to me, so we had a little brief conversation. And because I did the same thing, would run, when these totally uncomfortable things would happen. And you'd be somewhere, like I've quit jobs and shit over that stuff. And because you don't want to face them. And you don't want to hurt their feelings. You don't want to go out with them, but you don't want to hurt their feelings. But now, being older and stuff, and now seeing as like, and you can try and be real step down on it, like, oh well, I'm actually seeing somebody, because I did try that, and that didn't seem to, and so then it's like, oh, I don't want to go, I don't want to date right now. It's just like I'm not into it, and some people are super persistent. But still, it's your challenge over boundaries. It's your opportunity to work on them. And so, anyways, but she could see that. And then plus, it's like, you're held prisoner from something you really like to do. And then you're just going to abandon it. So because this person's made you uncomfortable because you don't want to hurt their feelings. It's like, it's way better to have boundaries. And even though it's difficult, but and then, then you're also at risk of how vindictive this person is. They're going to turn around and start spitting in your coffee every morning. Or worse, because there's a guy who's been busted, a fireman too. And when my brother has told me, like, it would be, like they have to circulate through who's the cook. And they have to cook for everybody. And so it's like in St. Louis or something. One of the firemen was jizzing in all the food. It's like, I think that's a crime. I'm pretty sure that's a crime. So anyways, but he got caught. It's like, God damn. You imagine you're the guys who work there and you've been eating his food for because he's been doing it for months or something. I don't think years, but I think months. It's like, oh my God. But how many times is this? And, I think this is kind of something we've been dealing with in this culture for a long time. And there was, oh, I just saw this other video too of this girl who was just at a store. And so she's in this store, and there's these three girls over there being super loud. So she just kind of looks over and looks away. Soon as she looks over, don't just ignore them. Don't fucking look at them. They're doing it to try and draw somebody into their drama. So she made the mistake of looking at them, and then so she leaves. She goes to another store. They follow her, and then they start harassing her. They're just standing over behind her, talking about how ugly she is. Look at her; she has no ass and all this stuff. And then they start dropping it like it's hot, showing like how they're twerking and this ugly girl, and this girl's real cute too, and she's too ugly and she's got no ass, like, and so these obnoxious girls won't leave her alone. So she leaves to go out to her car. They come out and start hitting her and punching her in the face and shit, knock her down. It's like, you gotta just ignore it. And we've got more of these mass fucking things going on. Because there is, like, these people are just losing it. It's like what that one person said, when this energy comes in, a lot of these people can't ride this energy. They just fucking lose it. So, and then they're obviously going into gangs together. But if you encounter one, it's a part of your journey, and it is learning boundaries, learning to ignore crazy people. I guess, I don't know. It's like it's part of your imprint. It's part of what you are here to learn. So anyways, when we all are here to learn something. So anyways, we'll get this day started. We'll see what happens today. We'll see how bad this weather gets here. Oh girl, I know. But definitely a part of this whole journey and part of this whole thing, though, is finding yourself and loving yourself, because it's easy to begin to break through and find yourself, but then people go into judgment and hating themselves. So then they want to keep up the facade of this other being that they've created, the fake part of themselves. But you got to break through all that, because the big part of the journey is learning to accept yourself and learning to forgive yourself. And in that is, when you can learn to do that for yourself, you can learn to do it for everybody else. And that's where you start beginning to have empathy and compassion. But it's got to start with you. You got to have empathy and compassion for yourself, and building the value of you. And so that's why it's all about learning how to love yourself, learning how to love everybody else, and learning how to have the day you want to have, because you can focus on all their crazy ass drama and get all caught up, because there's a lot of people who are doing it. Or you can just sit back and watch the show, because it's quite fucking entertaining, and it's a real mystery. It's like, what are they doing this for? Why is this? Like how it all ends up playing out? We'll see, and we'll see what pieces come together today, because I'm sure there's gonna be more. And I don't know if Donald really is gonna have another fucking thing tonight to tell us something big, something real big. It's like, it's such a fucking. I'll be glad when there is some big, like. Yeah, we've got all the bad guys. We're changing the money over. We're going to give you guys houses. We're going to get people back in homes. Like, yeah, let's get some big shit going. Like, this is all fucking absurd shit so far. So, anyways, we'll see what this day brings us. And we'll talk about it tomorrow. So, I'll talk to you later. Bye.